Long ago, after escaping from Egypt, the Israelites found themselves traveling through a vast, hot desert. The sun shone brightly every day, and the sand stretched as far as their eyes could see. As they walked, day after day, their food supplies began to run out. The people grew tired and hungry. Some started to worry, wondering if they would ever have enough to eat in this dry and empty place. One morning, many of the Israelites gathered together and talked to Moses, their leader. "Moses," they said, "why did you bring us all the way out here? In Egypt, at least we had food to eat. Now we're hungry and there's nothing but sand and rocks." Moses listened carefully, and he knew the people needed help. Moses turned to God and prayed, asking for help for his people. He trusted that God would hear and answer. That evening, something amazing happened. As the sun began to set and the sky turned orange and pink, a soft, gentle wind blew through the camp. Suddenly, small birds called quail began to appear, flying low to the ground. They landed all around the camp. The people hurried out and gathered the quail for dinner. That night, everyone had plenty of food to eat. The Israelites were thankful and amazed. But that was not all. The next morning, another surprise was waiting for them. When the people woke up and stepped outside their tents, they saw that the ground was covered with something strange. It was white, thin and flaky, almost like frost or snow. The people were puzzled. They bent down, picked up the flakes, and asked each other, "What is it?" Moses smiled and said, "This is the bread that God has given you to eat. It's called manna." The people tasted the manna and found it was delicious, sweet like honey wafers. Moses told everyone, "Each morning gather just enough manna for your family to eat that day. Don't try to save any for tomorrow, because there will be new manna every morning. On the 6th day, gather enough for 2 days, because the 7th day is a day of rest." The people listened and did as they were told. Every morning, they woke up to find fresh manna covering the ground. They gathered it, baked it, and cooked it in many ways. The manna was always enough for everyone, and it never failed. On the 6th day, when they gathered extra, it stayed fresh so they could rest on the 7th day, just as God had said. Some people tried to save extra manna on other days, but when they checked it the next morning, it had spoiled. God wanted them to trust that He would provide for them every single day. And He did. Each evening quail came, and each morning, the ground was covered with fresh manna. The Israelites learned a very important lesson in the desert. They saw that God cared for them and gave them what they needed, even when things seemed impossible. Whenever they felt afraid or worried, they could remember the quail and the manna and know that God was always watching over them. So, as the Israelites continued their journey through the desert, they walked with grateful hearts, knowing that God would always provide. And even today, we can remember their story and trust that we are never alone.